I welcome everyone else again to this superb and life-changing training challenge. Today, being the 5th day in this program, and so far so good, we started on Monday with a topic called an introduction to Realtormax sales school of sales process. And from that day to now, we have been able to tap from the experience of series of people, series of professionals that have been training us. We have been able to hear from that superb lecture from Mr. Omitiran. We've also learned from the HR of our able company, Mrs. Olajumoke. We've also heard from Ambassador Abayomi, taking series of course outline. And this night, we're not dealing with anything but a topic that says real estate terminologies and concepts. I repeat myself again, real estate terminologies and concepts. And my name is Olujide. I welcome every one of us to this wonderful. I will beg of us to please kindly get our writing materials, our pen and jotters, because what we are dealing with today, it is an aspect, it is one of the major aspects of real estate industry. What does terminologies in real estate refers to? What does it mean? Real estate terminologies refer to the specialized words, phrases, and jargons used in the real estate industry. This is simply referred to. That is just the simple definition of real estate terminologies, the language of the real estate. The language of the real estate. For every profession, there is always a language. There is always a language. If you are into accounting profession, you will be hearing some words like contract entry and so on and so forth. If you are being close to a medical practitioner, you'll be hearing some words that might not be really be understood. I'll be looking at these specialized words and phrases that can be called jargons in the real estate industry. Understanding the language of real estate. So how can we understand the language of real estate? The language of real estate, that is terminologies, can be classified into the following terms. To make it easier for us, we have grouped the jargons, the language of real estate into these terms. We have the general/key terms, general terms or key terms. Then we have the property-related terms. We have financing terms, investment terms, market-related terms, property valuation terms, legal terms, and other terms. So in this night's training, we shall be examining all these terms that are listed here, one after the other. And I believe at the end of this class, our life will be really blessed, because we'll be able to know and understanding some terms which, applying it outside there, will make us to sound professional in our line of duty. To start with, let's start with the general terms or key terms. We're starting with appraiser. One of the general terms is what is called appraiser. What is an appraiser? An appraiser is an unbiased estimate of property's value. An unbiased estimate of a property's value. When you value a property without fear nor favor, without any bias, with actual and true value, then that is what is called appraisal. Looking at a property and with the circumstances, so current market in that the major landmarks you have in that area, you are able with the infrastructures on the properties, you as a salesperson, as a real estate consultant, should be able to estimate a property value without being biased. And the second one is closing. What is closing? When we talk of real estate, we talk of sales. And in the sales processing, there is keyword closing. To close a deal, what does it mean in real estate? There are different meanings, there are different dictionary interpretation or meaning given to closings. But when it comes to real estate, closing simply means the final step in a real estate transaction where ownership is transferred. The final step in a real estate transaction where ownership is transferred. Before the ownership can be transferred, closing will take place. And what are the things involved in the closing? You have the payment, you have issuing of receipt, you have the documentation of the transaction. All this must have been taking place. Then finally, before you can now say you have totally closing the deal, then you must have taken all the final steps. Final step in real estate transaction, and that is where the ownership is finally transferred. That is where the ownership is finally transferred. Then another one is what is called deed. Person, the real estate consultant, we do miss this. We don't always advise our client. We don't tell them as to the importance of this deed. Many of us, as a real estate consultant and as a salesperson, we don't really the power of deed. Real estate tech. Deed simply means a document that proves ownership. A document that proves ownership of a property. A document that proves the ownership of a property, and that is deed. That is deed. When the ownership is transferred, as when the ownership is transferred, if there is no deed, then there is no proof of ownership. The ownership is just transferred via ordinary steps, no backup, no legal backing up for that ownership that is being transferred. So for your client to sleep with their two eyes closed, for your client to be able to sleep with their two eyes, to have an agreement with them, we want to buy their property. You with me that this transaction involve a huge amount of money to be paid. And in this case, we don't go ahead by paying into the account straight away. We have to prepare all the necessary documents. Meanwhile, the fund is already in a third-party account. While we are preparing all the documentations needed, where they need to sign, the family people, the family head, the secretary, all of them will sign. And we as a company, we also sign. After the signing, and we have now confirmed that all the necessary conditions has been met by the landowners, then that is when the payment comes in. That's when the payment comes. That's when the in. So escrow is a neutral third-party account that holds funds or documents on conditions are met. The key element of a survey plan. The key element of a survey plan. What are the things that must be involved, that must reflect in your survey plan? Those are the key elements. Property boundaries. In your survey plans, your boundaries, the four boundaries, the four corners of your properties must be clearly. So one of the key elements of a survey plan is property boundaries. The property boundaries, the exact lines that define the property's edge. Then measurement, called easement. Easement. This is simply means the areas that are reserved for specific uses, such as utility access. An area, maybe there is an area that is purposely reserved for its specific uses. It will also be stated in your survey, so that when you want to, with your survey, you will be able to know where you can place your structure, where you can erect your structure. If there is a certain place marked out for a specific uses, you will know that you as a person should not go and place your structure on those areas. What is now the purpose of survey plan? What is the purpose of a survey plan? Property identification. A good survey plan clearly defines the property's boundaries and features. To resolve disputes between neighbors, or helps to resolve disputes between neighbors or property owners, because what because because your software will be reflecting your areas and the features that can characterize your properties. Then the other one is land development. Land development informs planning and development decision. It informs planning and development decision. It helps in good planning and it helps in making a good development decision. Property transactions, essential for buying and selling or transferring property ownership. It is very good for buying, selling, or transferring of property ownership. Then we have different types of survey plan. What are the types of survey plan? The number one is what is called cadastral survey. Cadastral survey. A friend. It is always good, you know the type of friend you want to go. That is why Realtormax will continue to lead, while others will follow, because Realtormax will ensure that the property that is meant for residential, not commercial, will not be given out for residential. A future, a peaceful future for all our clients. That's why we're doing this. So there are major categories of property related terms, that is agricultural. Then the amenities. Amenities simply refer to features or services that enhance a property's value or disability, or services that enhance property's value or desirabilities. What makes an estate or a property to be a desired property? That is amenities. Assessment, evaluation of property for tax purposes. When you have you done the assessment, that is, have you done the valuation of this property for tax purposes. Condo means a type of ownership
Please, Mr.
where
Jide, can you check your
individuals
screen,
own
please?
a
We can see your screen.
like some apartment that people, you see, you have different people in the compound in the building. You cannot see my screen. Can you see it
Yes,
now? Okay.
we
So
can see your
condo simply
screen.
means, then another terms is called duplex, a building with two separate living units. A building with two separate living units. Then financing terms. When we talk of financing terms in real estate, we have mortgage. Mortgage is a loan used to purchase property, and you secure a loan for the purpose of acquiring a property. That is mortgage. And of it is not all bank that the bank that specialize most in giving loan for financing a property project or for acquiring a property. They are properly known as mortgage bank. Individuals name of home ownership. It is one that is our mission statement, and in order to ensure this, we drop a program for that payment, pay initial deposit, then spread the balance in months. So when you pay that, simply means the initial made, and but the loan amount the properties value that can be borrowed. Of course, when you want to apply for a loan and with your property, it is not the exact value of that property you as loan. There is 10% of properties can be released to value, loan to value ratio. Then commission, the certain percentage of sales price paid to a sales rep, a sales executive or agent, or even a realtor as monetary appreciation for a successful as a person when you pay to a company, the payment is confirmed percentage which you come which the monetary appreciation company that that uh, is one of the best company to we have information. We pay agents. It comes to commission. We pay as much as from 15% to 23% information. What we pay. Then you can Google it. You discover most real estate companies, they don't pay as much as this. Rental income, income earned from renting out a property. When you give out a property on rent, then a certain amount of money is on the paid, and such money to what is referred to as rental income. Increase in property value over there. That is why real estate business is just the best business for a wise to do. it always in value, and that appreciation is what is called the increase in property's value over time. That's why we introduce land to our people, buy and keep for a certain period of time, then come back and sell it, then you make your money. Depreciation, of course, there is no way we talk of appreciation that we will not talk of depreciation, simply because the two are just what and not opposite. Is depreciation simply means the decrease in property value over time, decrease in property value over time. Then cash flow, the income earned from a property after an expenses. Then we have another one called market related supply and demand. The balance between the number of properties available for sales and the number of the prospective buyers at a particular period. Demand and supply. Demand and supply. Take for instance, for urban mass, we say we just have 200 and some fractions plot of land to sell out. Then we close the sales. We close the sales. So what we have available for sale and the number of clients ready to buy. This is what is simply referred to as supply and demand. And we have market trends. The direction of the real estate market in a period, either upward or downward, of course, is always like that in every business. For every business, there's always a peak period, and there's always a down period. So the direction of the real estate market period is called market trends. Absorption rate, the rate at which properties are sold in a given market at a given period of time is called absorption rate. The rate at which properties are sold in a given market at a given period of time. Investment terms, rental income. Location used to estimate value. When you want to evaluate your property, you want to cost your property, you want to know the current value of a certain property, you have to move to the area, do your research on how much the property is being sold in that area as at present. That is why it's called the recent sales of similar properties in the same location. Used to estimate, that's what you will now use to estimate your property value. Income approach, valuing a property based on its present potentials. Present potentials. When every property has its present capacity. Present capacity. When you evaluate your property based on the present capacity of that property, and that income approach. cost approach, valuing a property based on current replacement. You can also use this method. You consider the replacement. Say in every real estate company, there are always estate covenant and contract of sales agreement. These are the laws, the regulation that guides the contract and agreement of a real estate. Then we have what is called titles. Of course, as a salesperson, when you want to sell, you are marketing your product. If you see somebody that is experienced in real estate, we ask you, what are the titles? We not ask you whether you have survey plan, whether you have CFO, whether you have deed of assignment. We just ask you, what title do you have on the property? And when you hear titles, it's not referring to chieftaincy title, but this valid document backing the ownership of a particular property, such as a receipt, deed of assignment, survey plan, and land to commence deed of and so forth. They are the prerequisites for CO to be approved. For CO. In real estate, a deed that proof and you three and bond. Then type of deed, warranty deed, warranty deed, and right to sell, clear ownership and right to sell. For a period of time, the occupiers are using it. The occupiers are, but that does not grant the right to sell. So meaning that when in a deed of assignment for a to be a warranty, there is no right to sell in the list of property. Then we have the second one, quit claim deed, transfer ownership title. But the third one is special warranty deed. During period, the ownership. Then the key element of a deed, we have guarantor. The second property, guarantor. Guarantor is the person that is signing a property in owner. Person that had the property is called a grantee. Why we have the property description, a detailed description of the property, and also signature of the grantor, and sometimes witness or a notary public. of a deed. What is now the importance of deed? Proof of ownership. It guarantees the proof of ownership, transfer of ownership, and protection. Helps to protect the new owner's right and interest. A deed is a critical document in real estate transactions, and its accuracy and completeness are essential to ensure transfer of in the transfer of the other terms. Agent is personal represent buyers or sellers in the real estate transaction, and it refers as sales representative and so on the company. But all these are agents are licensed professionals who represent the buyers or sellers in a real estate transaction. You can be standing for your client, and at the same time, you can be standing for your client when he's selling out to another property. A licensed professional who persists real estate transactions the agency. A condition must be met to finalized. Of course, there are always conditions real estate will be finalized. Then we have the to disclose disclosure. Importance of real estate. Real estate professionals who understand the use of industry-specific terminologies demonstrate expertise and professionalism. By the time you understand all these terminologies, the language of real estate, all this jargon in real estate industry, then you stand a chance to demonstrate expertise and at the same time professionalism. Conclusively, by understanding real estate terminologies, individuals can navigate the complex world of real estate with confidence. When you have a real knowledge of the language of the business, the language of the industry, then you as a salesperson can navigate the complex world of real estate with confidence. And here comes to the conclusion of tonight's sales training challenge. Thank you for listening to me, for the audience granted unto me. And at this Johnson, I would like to ask if there are questions or questions. If there are questions or questions, this floor is now open for questions from attendees. Thank you.